Well, Vermont could be heading to the world sports stage. Killington is vying to host a World Cup skiing event next year.
The excitement is building towards Thanksgiving weekend when Killington will host the first World Cup ski races in the eastern U.S. in a quarter century.
The countdown is on to the biggest skiing event in the Northeast in more than 30 years.
It's Monday, October 10th. We're here at Killington. We've got one day of snowmaking under our belts, both over on Northridge for the public and then on Superstar for the World Cup venue as well. Looking at cold temps tonight and hopefully fire up again to make that base a little thicker. And the first truckload of supplies for the World Cup rolled in this past week. Combination of netting, fencing, just some of the stuff that patrol and the race crew is going to need to actually build the venue. We're on or ahead of schedule. You know, snowmaking is budgeted from October 1st straight on. So here we are, the 10th day, finally got the temps, fired up the guns, called in the snowmakers in the middle of the night, got it going. Looking at a little warm up over the next week or so, but hopefully more cold, clear nights will come in the forecast, and we're just going to continue to build these stockpiles up.
So the process of getting this World Cup race to Killington here in Vermont goes actually back about 5-6 years ago. There's a gentleman that works for USSA. This is the US ski team. Callum Clark, he's the vice president of events, and we know each other for a long time, and we had the idea to bring the races back here because it hasn't really happened for a long time. It's actually 25 years in the East, and it's the last race in Vermont on that level. World Cup internationally was 1978. And the main idea was really to do something in Boston, and you've seen it last year with the big air event. We thought we maybe going to do a parallel alpine race there, but the ramp would be too big to fit into the Red Sox Stadium. So we came up with the idea to do a big air event there and then come up to a World Cup ski race here. So the main block was, or the main idea in the beginning was to do that at the same weekend, or to summer have the races there first in Boston and then come up here for the weekend. The main reason why we got this spot on the schedule is that Aspen has the World Cup finals this year in 2017 in March, and the tour never stops twice at the same resort, so we had the opportunity to use this spot. And we were talking to the FIS, as I said, for years, but they could not find an opening in their schedule. And this was the opportunity for us.
Well, the organization of the course itself is acquiring B-nets, which are set up on both sides of the course. And in this case, we need 3 B-nets on one side and 2 layers of B-net on the other. And we've been able to retrieve that from a number of other race venues. We still have to buy probably 5 tons of material to harden the snow. We had to put in a whole new communication system because there wasn't any timing lines or communication lines on the mountain, so that was a big expense in putting all of that up there. And the Killington mountain crew has done an excellent job of pulling all that cable through the woods and putting all the conduit together and piecing that all together with the whole base operation, which is like a major circus.
So snowmaking production has been going very well on Superstar Trail, and as you know, it's a 3,200 foot trail with about a 1,200 foot drop. It's going to be a very exciting and different race course than what a lot of the racers are used to. So the normal snowmaking process would make snow on it, start to let it cure a little bit, start to groom it in. But the race process is a little bit different. We want a really hard surface. The racers and coaches like to say they want it almost ice, which is a little bit different, obviously, than what we want for the, the general skiing trails. So we've made quite a bit of snow. We've had a couple good opportunities so far. We have a great weather window coming up. Probably in areas on the trail already, we're anywhere from 6 to 10 feet of snow, probably with a 5-foot average depth down the spine. As we get our next cold opportunity, we'll probably go in and start to track that snow out, roll it out a little bit, move it around, and then start to make snow on top of that.
In the past few months, we're really dialing in the entire festival village aspect, the on-course aspect, everything from sourcing gates, sourcing fencing for safety procedures, getting all of our volunteers in place, all the way down to Festival Village, working with USSA on what sponsors they have, what sponsors we have, how that's going to collaborate into who's going to activate in the Festival Village. Then you got the other section of the operations where how are we going to get all these people in? Are we going to bus them in? Are we going to allow them to park? All the way down to the security aspect as well. This is a major event on the East Coast, first one in a while. So we're just trying to get all that dialed in.
So Superstar was a really great choice as a race trail for us here at the resort because, as you know, that's our signature trail. We get it open fairly early in the season, but it's the one we try to go right to June 1st on. So there's a significant amount of snowmaking and infrastructure already on the trail. Right now, over that 3,200 foot, we're running almost 100 snow guns, which with that kind of spacing is kind of unheard of in the industry. So a lot of firepower on that. Probably at each hydrant on that trail, we'll run 2 and 3 types of guns, depending on the weather, the temperature, and the humidity, which snow gun we want to use for that to get the best bang for the buck. We're using fan technology, we're using low E guns, we're using some of our standard workhorse guns on that. We've actually added hydrants to that trail this year to even increase the amount of snowmaking on it. We've also doubled our air plant this year to provide enough air to have both our expansion and our opening product being open first in the east, as well as pull off the World Cup venue.
I don't think we've got any problems coming up. The forecast looks good. Superstar and Skylark are both fat with snow. Like I said, the more we drill down to the granular details, the more boxes we can check, and so bit by bit we're getting towards having a successful race. Everything is right on track right now.